Escaping the massacre of the Red Wedding in the Twins, the Hound, Sandor Clegane, took his captive Arya Stark through the Riverlands, in the hopes of ransoming her to Lysa Arryn in the Vale. Stopping at a tavern, they encountered the soldiers of the Hound's brother, Gregor Clegane, who once captured Arya, stole her sword, and killed her friend. After a tense discussion, a fight erupted, with the Hound killing 3 men, while Arya joined in, killing 2 of her own, and recapturing her sword Needle. Unfortunately, by the time they reached the Vale, Lysa Arryn was already dead, eliminating yet another opportunity for the Hound to collect a ransom. As all this occurred, Brienne of Tarth and Podrick Payne reached the inn at the crossroads, where Arya's friend Hot Pie pointed them in her direction. When Brienne at last found the girl, the Hound saw she wielded a Lannister sword, and so a battle erupted between them. Though Brienne was victorious, Arya disappeared from sight, only to return after they departed, in order to rob the gravely injured Sandor Clegane, then leaving him to die. Making her way to a port, she found a sailor from Braavos, presenting the coin given to her by Jaqen H'ghar, before speaking the phrase, Valar Morghulis. Acting as a secret code for the Braavosi, the sailor immediately offered her free passage across the sea, out of respect for the mysterious House of Black and White from where the coin originated, a religious temple that worshipped death and trained faceless men to be assassins. Following their defeat in the Battle of the Blackwater, Stannis retreated to Dragonstone to rebuild his armies, and so Melisandre began to make more human sacrifices to win the favor of R'hllor. Angry over her barbarism, Davos convinced Stannis to try a more practical approach by going to the Iron Bank of Braavos, where they received a loan, allowing them to raise new armies and once again hire the pirate fleet of Salador Saan. In the Dreadfort, Ramsay Snow welcomed his old friend Locke and Lady Walda Frey, the new wife of his father Roose Bolton. Though the Boltons now ruled over the north, much of their lands were still held by the Ironborn, while their own banner lords hated them for betraying the Starks. In order to bring their troops north from the Riverlands, they required possession of Moat Cailin, currently held by the Ironborn, and so Roose planned to trade their hostage, the young Greyjoy, for the holding. But his plans were now ruined, because Ramsay tortured Theon and made him a eunuch, breaking him until he responded to the name Reek, thereby eliminating his value as a prisoner. To make up for this failure, Roose ordered Ramsay to take Theon and an army to Moat Cailin to capture it by any means necessary, further incentivizing him by offering to legitimize his bastard son as a Bolton, thereby making him the heir to the north. Roose also sent Locke on a separate mission to join the Night's Watch, where he was ordered to meet Jon Snow and hopefully learn the whereabouts of Bran and Rickon Stark in order to eliminate them as rivals to the lordship of Winterfell. Though his sister Yara broke into the Dreadfort to rescue him, Theon was so traumatized by the torture he endured, he refused to escape and voluntarily stayed behind with Ramsay. He then helped his master capture Moat Cailin by posing as his old self Theon Greyjoy and negotiating a deal for the Ironborn to surrender. Despite promising to spare them, Ramsay killed every one of them before meeting his father and finally accomplishing his lifelong dream of being legitimized as a Bolton. After infiltrating and betraying the Free Folk, Jon Snow returned to Castle Black to recover from his injuries and report on the enemy, explaining that he killed Qhorin Halfhand under orders so he would be accepted into the Wildling camp. Alliser Thorne and his allies on the Leadership Council accused Jon of treason and might have arrested him, if not for the old maester Aemon Targaryen, who believed his story and spoke on his behalf. Once again accepted as a Black Brother, Jon organized a volunteer war party to attack Craster's Keep and eliminate the traitors who killed Lord Commander Mormont, both for justice sake and to stop them from divulging Night's Watch secrets to Mance Rayder's army. Joined by a number of brothers, including the new recruit, Locke, they killed their enemies at Craster's Keep, freed the women and children held as captives, and reunited with the direwolf Ghost, who'd been missing for some time. After the battle, Jon and the other survivors burned the keep and returned to Castle Black, where they soon learned the wildlings south of the Wall were attacking nearby villages and farms. Though Jon and his friends wanted to go help their neighbors, they were too few to risk leaving their position, and so prepared to defend from an attack both north and south of the Wall. Having survived the attack on Molestown, Gilly and her baby returned to Castle Black, where a relieved Sam provided shelter and promised to never leave them again. The Battle of Castle Black then erupted as the Night's Watch was attacked in the south by the Wildlings under Tormund Giantsbane and the Magnar of the Fen, while in the north they faced Mance Rayder's first wave of warriors attempting to breach and scale the wall, including 2 giants and a mammoth. Engaging in a vicious fight, Sir Alliser Thorne was injured early on, leaving Jon Snow to take command and lead the Night's Watch to victory. Unfortunately, when it was over, there were many dead on both sides, including the 2 giants, the Wildling Ygritte and the Magnar of the Fen, as well as the Night's Watch brothers, Grenn and Pip. Barely living through the night, Jon Snow knew they would not survive another attack, and so went on his own into the enemy camp to negotiate a peace with Mance Rayder, and if that was not possible, attempt to assassinate the wildling leader. Yet their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Stannis Baratheon and his armies, who sailed north from Dragonstone to answer the Night's Watch call for reinforcements, in order to prove to the realm he was the rightful king. After being introduced to Jon Snow, he arrested Mance Rayder and many other wildlings, while leaving the rest to scatter and flee into the far north. Love Game of Thrones? Then be sure to check out the new book, The Thrones Effect, written by a number of respected A Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers, including GOT Academy, Because Geek, Secrets of the Citadel, Grey Area, Ideas of Ice and Fire, History of Westeros, and Smokescreen, with Chapter 5, titled Eye of the Beholder, written by CivilizationEx, exploring the various ways the characters and story can be interpreted, as well as how the audience reacted to their decisions. If interested, click on the link in the description box below, where The Thrones Effect is available as a physical copy, ebook, and audiobook. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Belligerent Man, Checo the Clever, The Smiling Cow, and Johannes the Juvenile. If you'd like to help CivilizationEx, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and click on the links to see more.